Raising Kingdom Champions is brought to you by Julian Kuehler Ministries and partners.
Welcome back to Raising Kingdom Champions. I am joined today by an amazing man of God, but very practical. And I don't want to waste any more time. I want to ask questions. I want to make use of his time here with us because this stuff is amazing. We are learning so much about our relevance as a church and what we need to do and how we need to move forward. So Pastor, we were talking earlier about the frustration then of being a pastor at our time. And it seems that there's a direct link to our transformation and our understanding what season we're in. How would you then advise anyone who is being called? Because I've met a lot of people who want to start churches. They want to begin doing ministry, and all of them want to go back to just that goosebump. Now, I want us to agree something. We are for the signs and wonders, following the church. We are. We want to see signs and wonders. Absolutely. We want to see God glorified in church, and we want to see miracles. We want to see the lame walk. We want to see the blind see. But I have a problem with keeping your people in perpetual state of deliverance. Mm-hmm. They've thrown up the scorpions. They've removed the snake from the stomach. And then we want to keep them there. And that's where I have a disconnect. So let's talk about the transformation you talk about, which is the movement from one form to another. What does the next generation church look like? Because the Church of Jesus Christ, the truth will never change. But the way God does things changes over seasons. And I sense we're in a transition. Bishop, just feel free to flow around this subject.
Just to reiterate the first point you raised, we believe in the miraculous. We walk in the miraculous. We practice the miraculous. Uh-huh. Matter of fact, I believe that the church needs more of the miraculous in the times in which we live. Mm-hmm. However, don't forget, God provided manna from heaven. God made sure Israel didn't need shoemakers, kept their shoes intact.
Okay.
God made sure their clothes grew with their size. God did all that only as a matter of a wilderness experience. Okay. It was for a season. Miracles are not meant to be your there's a word I'm looking for now. When something is your normal. Yeah. There's a way they put it on our smartphones. Yeah. It's called your
operating system, your core.
Your core operating system is not meant to be.
Yeah.
Miracles are supposed to be interventions. I give you an example. You do not go drinking dirty water, eating food that is not balanced diet. Eat anything that comes your way and hope that miracles will follow you all the time.
You'll die. God,
at some point in the wilderness, told them, get your firewood, get your pots, and start cooking your food, and stop giving them manna. Why? Because God's standard mode or standard operating procedure is principles, is value systems. Miracles only come as interventions. So we believe in miracles. We believe in divine interventions when they become necessary. But guess what? As I'm a pastor, and we're all pastors, I don't care how anointed you are in the healing ministry, you will still need a hospital in your church. If you want to build a relevant 21st century compliant church, you need a hospital. I don't care the kind of revelatory gift you have, you need to build a school.
Wow.
You need to build a school. Nothing takes its place. Nothing takes the place of a good, working, well-furnished, well-equipped hospital in Nigeria and in Kenya, so that our people don't have to go to India all the time and go to America for medical care. The church must be the first to provide that hospital and build that ultra-modern school that provides all the modern facilities for sound and quality education. So we must never mistake the fact of miracles, signs, wonders, and the miraculous. We must never mistake it to take the place of principles and of systems, workable systems that God built built the human society and even the human body around systems, whether it's your reproductive system, endocrine system, respiratory system, digestive system. God himself, who is the Almighty, designed the human body to work around systems.
Okay.
In the same way, society was designed to function around systems. So please, no matter how spiritual you are, you must at some point come down to face reality and realize that, listen, so let's now get back to your question. We're talking about the frustrations and ministry and so on and so forth. I don't know how best to describe frustration that pastors are going through today vis-a-vis the cry from society and the disconnect between the both of them.
Okay.
Pastor Julian, you are a pastor. You're not just a pastor, you're a pastor of one of the most thriving, one of the most phenomenal churches I've ever met in my entire life. Within the last couple of years, only 11 years, what my eyes have seen
Amen.
defies history, defies what is the norm.
Amen.
A matter of fact, it's God has been so faithful. But let me say this to you. Let me tell you one of the secrets why a lot of people throng to your church, why a lot of people are all over the place, why people just come and just stay. They just come and they are okay. Why? Because you are a pastor of one of the fastest growing churches in the whole world, not just in Nairobi, Kenya.
Amen.
But guess what? You're also a businessman. You run a company, you started a company that provided solutions to the entire world of communication. Matter of fact, you provided solutions that got as far as Nigeria.
Yes.
You provided mobile solutions that go as far as Mexico, different Ghana, different countries in the world. You're still a pastor, still preaching the word of God, still doing ministry, but also conscious of the fact that we must go from just being transformatory to being reformatory. In other words, why are people coming to the Purpose Center today from all over the place? Because they realize that there's a pastor up there who is not just necessarily, he didn't start church because he's hungry, he didn't start church because he's broke, but he started the church as a calling from God. Meanwhile, personally, on a personal note, and alongside with the team of people God has raised around him, is still out there doing great works, even in the business world. Amen. Now, I'm not saying every pastor must also be build successful multi-billion-dollar businesses like Pastor Julian. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm simply saying that, whether you like it or not, people want to see how the church that they are coming to also has a positive and relevant influence on mainstream society. Okay. People will be more convinced to be a part of a vision that is not just that it doesn't just end in the four walls of a church, but that provides relevant solutions to their community. I give you just one more example. Where my church is in the middle or just in close proximity with a university. Okay. When we got to that university, we realized when we got to the land rather, when we started building, we realized that the entire university community does not have a functional toilet. It's so embarrassing that you see people just walk up, young girls and boys, just any available little bush, and they defecate or urinate. It was so embarrassing. One day we were still doing construction work. We saw a pregnant woman who was pressed. There was no bush available. Every bush had been taken over by other students. Jesus. This pregnant woman started defecating on herself. It was so embarrassing, we all turned away. We got a girl, one of the girls that was working on site with us. We're still under construction at the time. We bought a bag of what we call in Nigeria pure water. We got her a bag of pure water. She had to take it to the woman. They had to look for a corner to hide. And the woman had to wash up and all that. And so on that day, I vowed, even if we don't have a church, we must build a functional toilet for this university community. Wow. Cut a long story short, we spent millions, built about 6 toilets and then urinaries and all that and so on. And we finally gave it. Now, we didn't just build it and give to them because the vice chancellor of the university said to us, we can't maintain it. We don't have the funds to maintain it. Now, in this particular community I'm talking about, water doesn't run. So we buy water every week. My budget for water is about 40,000 naira weekly. We provide sanitary materials for the ladies. We buy tissues, toilet tissue. We buy hand wash. We provide maintenance services, the plumbing services. Then we have staff employed because we knew that if we handed it over to the school, they'll run it down in 2 days.
That's right.
Guess what? Initially, when they saw a church coming to that neighborhood, everybody was hostile. Students, lecturers would use us to preach during their lectures. And then we built that toilet facility. They all thought we're going to just run it for 2 days and abandon it. We've been on it now for close to 5 years. We've been running that facility. Now, the same lecturers who used to use half of their lectures to insult our church before we build that facility, today, if you make a negative statement against our church, the unbelieving lecturers and students will mob you before I will ever know that you made a statement against our church. And I kid you not, there was a meeting where the vice chancellor, other professors were gathered, and then another professor said, as a matter of fact, they want all the facilities around this school, especially that useless church, to be removed from this place. They were discussing with the governor of our state. And the vice chancellor said, sir, if you are criticizing churches, don't ever mention that church again. Another lecturer, also a professor, raised his hand. This is the head of the department with the vice chancellor and the governor of the state. There was an issue we were trying to resolve. Another lecturer said, listen, if anybody criticizes this church again, I'll walk out of this meeting. Wow. And then the third lecturer who spoke is an Ekist. I don't know if the Ekanka religion is in Kenya. No. There's a religion called Ekanka. It's not a church. They are a different sect.
Okay.
And this man, they don't go to church. They don't believe in church and all that. This man raised his hand and said, you know what? I don't go to church and I don't believe in church. But if I ever decide to go to church in my lifetime, there's only one practical church I know of in the city, and that's the church. And then he turned to the professor and said, if you ever say one wrong thing against this church again, this meeting has ended. Right. Now, I don't know these lecturers. I have never met them. It was only on the day of the dedication of the toilets I met most of them. After that, I have no relationship with them. I've never asked any favor from them. But just one act of random kindness. Just one thing that impacts and influences on that university community.
Society community.
Do you know that they what they call in Nigeria, the NUC, the Nigerian Universities National Universities Commission, they are the ones that do accreditation for different departments and faculties. They came to that university to do accreditation for some of their departments. And you know the university failed literally on a lot of the requirements, except that they said, this is the best university with the best toilet facility. I kid you not, Bishop.
Oh my God.
They said, this is a university with the best toilet facility they've seen around the nation. That they've gone around a lot of universities. They don't have toilets. And that just on this toilet alone, they give them accreditation.